Okay, today we're going to set up our science interactive notebooks. You'll be using these notebooks to take your notes. I may have you do some student output, as well as we may be working on our science labs in these notebooks. All right, things you need to know. Your notebooks are going to be graded once each 9 weeks, and this is going to be unannounced. So you need to make sure that your notebooks are updated always. These are your notebooks, so you are going to be able to take them home if you need to study. However, you cannot lose them. You do have the choice to leave them at school. I have a separate basket for each class, so they will not get mixed up. Your choice, but you do have a place for them at school, and you may take them home. Anytime that you do finish early, in class on an assignment, you may work on your notebook to make it more awesome. So anytime you want to color your title page or work on the outside, I know some of you are very artistic, so this is your time to really make your notebook your own. Okay, there's going to be 2 types of things that we will put in the notebook, and one of them is what the teacher input. That's what I give you. So this is information that I give you in class, lecture notes, video notes, summaries, textbook notes, etc. Anything that we do in class or the notes you take off of my videos, this is the teacher input, the information, the content that I give you. There also is student output. So after a lesson, you may do some things for me in your notebook, which will be part of the grading. Such as thinking maps, drawings, reflective writing, questions, data and graphs. You can write a song, poems, stories, comics, any kind of personal experience connection that you have with the lesson, and anything that I tell you to do that will come out of the lesson that will require you to do some critical thinking. Here is an example of the rubric that you will be using. You'll be putting this in your notebook, and this is the rubric that I will be using to grade your notebook every 9 weeks. So I'm going to be looking at the neatness and organization. I'm going to be looking at the content accuracy. So when I'm looking at your student output, are you putting the accurate facts? Required elements. Are your table of contents up to date? Are your pages numbered? And also your illustrations and diagrams are clear, accurate, and labeled if asked. Okay, so now we're going to work on setting it up. Take out your notebook and look at the front of your notebook. This is an example of how I did mine. You can work on it now or you can work on it later. I took mine home and printed out my name, my Science Notebook 2015-2016. You can use pictures, stickers, construction paper, whatever you want to do to make it your own. However, your name does need to be visible on the front. If you open to the very first page of your notebook, this is going to be your cover page. You are going to get to decorate this, but we're going to wait until last. So now you're going to turn to the second page, and on the left, and I have a picture on the next slide, you are going to glue the input-output sheet to that second page on the left. You are also going to glue your interactive notebook rubric to this page, and let me show you an example. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to look like. Your teacher input and your student output will go there at the top. You can cut these out to make them fit, as well as the rubric. And this is on page 2. Remember, the first page is your cover page, and the second page is where this information goes. On the third page, on the right of what you just worked on, this is your table of contents. You will use 4 pages for your table of contents. So you're going to go ahead and at the top line, you're going to title this page Table of Contents. And then you're going to number your pages into 2 columns on each page. You're going to number as far as you can on those 4 pages. So let me show you an example before you begin. Okay, so you got all of your information on the left that you have glued into your notebook, and then you're going to work on the table of contents. So you see here that I've written the title, and then on the left side I've written 1 through 23, and on the right side I've written 24 through 46. Yours may be different, but go ahead and label 2 columns all the way down in chronological order, and then you're going to continue on the next page. Now, like I said, yours may be different, but you're going to fit as many numbers as you can on those 4 pages. So if I continue on, you'll see I continued my next 2 columns on the next page, and then I went over here and continued more, 2 columns, and then on my last page I ended up ending with 184. Yours may be different, but I used 4 pages. Now, a front and a back would be considered 2 pages. You're going to go front and back of those 2 pages, which will be 4 pages, and label your numbers into 2 columns. Alright, then mine is on the 7th page, and yours should be too. That 7th page is now blank on the right. Now you're going to number every page left in your notebook like a book. You're going to start with 1 and go to the very end. So actually this 7th page that we're on now is going to be your number 1 page. Your odd numbers will be on the right, and your even numbers will be on the left. So here's an example. You see here, this is where I finished my table of contents. So this next blank page, which is the 7th page, is my page 1. Then you're going to flip over. You're going to number every page front and back. So now the back of page 1 is page 2, and then page 3, and so on. I have already numbered my notebook, and mine ended up ending with 178. This is different than my table of contents, but I have made sure that I have enough table of contents to label my pages. Alright, once you finish doing all that, you can go ahead and decorate your cover page. Make sure you write your names. So mine says Mrs. Norval's Science Notebook 2015-2016. You can draw pictures that remind you of science and make sure you color it. Here's an example of mine.